Don in London, hello. 5th of April 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour during those years, well, equally addictive. I could be addicted to work, relationships, people, places, things, obsessed, wanting more and more and more. And I was a very good consumer. I was a materialistic, driven person, made into a marketing person's dream, I guess. And why? Why did I become an addict? Simply, anyone can become an addict. It all depends on our temperament and our life experiences. And when I talk about temperament, I'm talking about our emotions and our connection to what is going on right now. So if emotionally there is something wrong, or something not quite right, or our feelings are out of balance, that is, we may be fearful, not quite feeling right, feeling less than we ought, and we need to fix ourselves. And that was me for many years, trying to fix the emptiness or fix something inside me which said, I want that, and then I'll be okay. And I was also a chronic people pleaser, so if I felt that I needed to be loved or wanted love, I had to please you, rather than just be myself and then be loved for myself. I had no real identity. So these days, learning who I am, just one day at a time, not drinking one day at a time, and getting help to do that. And what helps me? Well, of course, family, friends, community, and a fellowship, and that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I'm just one of many who go to AA, and we all share our experience, strength and hope in different ways in different places. Many people simply in fellowship meetings, and that's in an anonymous surroundings. Nobody shares outside those meetings about what they hear. But we can say we go and say we were there, and we can share what keeps us safe on a daily basis. That's the nature of fellowship. Nobody tells you what to do. We learn what is best to do for ourselves in our own unique, authentic path of life. Having said that, we all have this similarity, which is a need to be sober. And once we're sober, stay sober. And that's where AA comes in for me. Many other influences affect me, but the backbone of recovery for me is the experience, strength and hope I get from meetings and from the fellowship. So if I didn't include fellowship in my story or my sharing, then I would be suggesting I did it on my own. And the answer is, I failed to be able to do it on my own, simply because self-will ran to self-obsession, and then self-will ran riot, and then completely addicted, physically, emotionally, and most likely spiritually, to the moment of now. I could do nothing but drink. So these days I don't, and that's because of fellowship and the toolkit it gave me. So I share about the toolkit here. The AA preamble I'll share in a moment, and then there are 12 steps of action that a person can take to change their attitude and behaviour, or our attitude and behaviour on a daily basis. And those 12 steps of AA are on this handy little card here. I've got quite a few of these. I give them out to people if they're new, or if they've left them behind, or they can't remember. Because we are all forgetful. As much as we take information in each day, we are in a process of forgetting what is good for us and possibly what is bad for us. So I guess serenity, spiritual connection to now, is all about knowing who we are and where we are, and being aware of what is going on around us. And that's a lot to do with meditation and reflection. And April is all about, for me, step 4, which is the fearless moral inventory, as they say, or we say, to find out who we were, so we can find out how to be now. So the AA preamble, I'll share that first, and then some literature. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So we deal with sobriety. We don't deal with a person's politics or religion or their personal beliefs. We just deal with sobriety, and we are all the same size, with some wisdom and some experience and some strength and hope to share. So that sounds like altruistic, but if we didn't leave our politics and our religion at the door, well, we wouldn't get on, would we? And AA is a very broad, in inverted commas, church, so we all try and get on. Anyway, one of the other books, 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, this is my home edition, if you like, and there are, I've got bigger ones like this, easier to read from, but I've picked up this one, and I've been selecting little bits out of it. And step 4, it says here, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So it's all about taking stock, and as we take stock we find out more about ourselves, what made us tick, what helped us retain our status as drinker, and how we keep sober today. And it says here on page 43, we want to find exactly how, when and where our natural desires will have warped us, where things are out of balance. We wish to look squarely at the unhappiness this has caused others and ourselves. By discovering what our emotional deformities are, or just our emotional extremes are, we can move toward their correction. Without a willing and persistent effort to do this, there can be little sobriety or contentment for us. Without a searching and fearless moral inventory, most of us found that the faith which really works in daily living is still out of reach. And the simple reason for that is, simply, if we continue to be out of balance, or continue to behave as we used to do, we can be what is known as a dry drunk, and we're still white-knuckling it, because we're still relying on self-will, driven by obsession to be okay. And if we're driven to be okay, we're out of balance, simple as that. So all the emotions can then be skewed to extreme behaviour of holding on tight to sobriety, when in fact by letting go and letting the good of life happen and letting our emotions settle into sobriety, we have a better life. So the daily reflections, the other one, all about step 4 in April. It says here for April 5th, true brotherhood. We have not once sought to be one in a family, to be a friend among friends, to be a worker among workers, to be a useful member of society. Always we try to struggle to the top of the heap, or to hide underneath it. This self-centered behaviour, either at the top of the heap or underneath it, blocked a partnership relation with anyone of those about us, or of true brotherhood. We had small comprehension. This message contained in step 4 was the first one I had found or heard loud and clear. I hadn't seen myself in print before. Prior to coming into AA, I knew of no place that could teach me how to become a person among persons. From my very first meeting, I saw people doing just that, and I wanted what they had. One of the reasons that I am happy today, a happy, sober alcoholic today, is that I'm learning the most important lesson. And that lesson for me is how to be myself, a person among persons. It's not whether I'm at the top of the heap or underneath it or somewhere in the middle. It's how I am with other people, and that's even and balanced, even-handed with myself, so I may be even-handed with other people. So we learn a lot in the inventory, and a gentle bank holiday Monday for me. And what helps me, that serenity prayer when I'm not quite sure about life, is to God or good conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. For me is simply just for today.